a meeting being, let me say that again, that this is a meeting being held under Zoom with original approval from Governor Baker on July 16, 2022, granting authority for such meetings to be virtual and extended by Governor Healy through March 31st of 2025. So that's it. We want to welcome everybody. This is being recorded from Mass Commission for the Blind, and it becomes available for local recordings and new availability to the public. Welcome to our members from SAB. Welcome to the public audience, and we look forward to having a good meeting. Continue on. So if we could delay the acceptance of meeting minutes because we don't all have them yet, so that's not fair. So why don't we skip right on into the general updates from the commissioner for now. John, you're on mute, I think.
How about that?
That sounds good.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Brian. And good day out there today. And it's a little chilly this morning, but I almost grabbed a jacket coming into work today, but I didn't. So bring you up to speed here on some of the things that are going on here at MCB, and then we'll have some of the other staff also present some items as we usually do. So the budget process continues here, and things are moving, and we are now in what they call the maintenance phase. And there's a lot of exercises that I will be conducting here with our fiscal staff, budget exercises for the next several weeks, and as we move towards getting all the funding in place so that we can deliver the services we deliver throughout the rest of the year. So currently doing well, things are looking good, and we will just continue to move forward and go through this budget process. So the good thing is that we have a budget director that started on Monday of this week. So she'll be giving me a hand and some of the other fiscal staff with getting this stuff in place. And tomorrow we're going to be have a marathon interviewing day and interviewing candidates for our CFO position. The hopes we can expedite that and get person in place as soon as possible. And that will be a great help around here to have a CFO on staff. And talking about the reallotment dollars that the agencies can apply for. So every year, the Rehab Service Administration offers the opportunity for agencies to apply for funding that they believe they can spend in 1 year on special projects. So we submitted a request for $700,000, and we received $100,252, if memory serves me right. It's the first time we've ever been cut as far as the request goes. They did receive more requests from agencies around the country than they had funds returned to them. And this never used to happen. They always had more funds than the agencies were actually requesting. So there's a lot of agencies that are experiencing some financial issues. And Idaho needed a total bailout of their program. They were pretty much out of funds or whatever they needed to do to salvage them. So they took up a substantial chunk, and a lot of other agencies received substantial cuts on the amounts that they asked for. So we are going to be able to do a couple of small projects here with that $100,000. 15% of that has to be dedicated towards pre-employment transition services, serving youth 14 to 22. So that's been done, and we will be contacting the individuals that the projects that we think we can do. The projects are going to be, unless something changes, but right now we had a couple of ideas to try to increase the public knowledge of careers available in working with people who are blind. So we have a couple of projects that fit that the financial constraints of this extra funding, but we can get those two projects done. And there was some other projects also, but we'll defer those till next year and continue to move forward. This is the first time that the agency has not received the funding, like I said, but it's fine. I mean, if they received more requests than what they had funding for, someone had to take the hit. They also mentioned something in the letter about agencies that had received the maintenance of effort deficit, which we had that from the previous administration, so we managed through that, but they were looking at that also because some agencies try to use these funds to try to make up for the money that was taken. And that was not our plan, but we may have just been caught in that. So, but we're good. These were extra projects, and we'll continue this trying to get more personnel, more the public interested in knowing about careers and working with people who are blind is a several-year project, I'm sure, maybe even longer. But so we'll start down that road and take small steps and hopefully increase people's knowledge of careers, either working at the agency or for our partner vendors and in the field in general. So we'll move forward with that. Another thing we're doing here at the agency, we're exploring bringing back the automated voice attendant, and we have met with a company that provides that service to the state. We've had several meetings here led by Deputy Commissioner Justine with our staff looking for different options and that they would like this system to do. And so we have collected those and in the process of scheduling a meeting with the telecom department here of the Commonwealth and bringing these ideas and these requests to them, and they will see what the company can do with some of these options. So it would be similar to what we had back several years ago, where you would say the individual's name and the system would transfer you to that individual's extension. This particular system, we can use the extension or we could use the mobile number. So most of our staff, all of our staff have mobile numbers. So I would like to have that call go to the mobile number, since a substantial number, the majority of our staff don't come to the office on a regular basis anymore. They use their telework from home. If they're in the field, they're in the field, and then they do their work from home. And the managers and supervisors come in a couple of days a week, 2 or 3 days a week in some cases, and we do telework from home the other days. So the cell phone, in my opinion, is always with us and is always on, and that's something that we can be reached at easily than trying to get an office extension that we have to call in on periodically throughout the day and check for voicemail. So looking forward to getting that going. The price for the product is reasonable, something that I believe we can manage at this point in our budget cycle here. And they said if we go forward with it, it'll be up and running in 2 to 3 months. So the turnaround time is good. The installation time is good. It's a total virtual product. It is no hardware at the agency. It's totally up in the cloud, and something that we can hopefully look forward to it in the near future. Just returned back from the American Printing House annual meeting. I'm the ex officio trustee, and partnership that we've had with APH for a long time. And this year, the hot product was a 10-line Braille display called the Monarch. And that seems to be the rage because not only can it display Braille, 10 lines of Braille, it can also display pictures, textually, so that you can touch them. And it's quite a good product. I was able to get a hold of one, and it is being sent to MCB. We'll be able to use it as a demo product and to show people. But it's a pricey product, just under $15,000. But 10 lines of Braille is something that might be helpful, would be helpful to some folks that really want more than this one line of Braille that most of us use these days when you're using a refreshable Braille display. So sure there'll be more on that, and hopefully as they get it out, and they just started to ship it, as they get it out there and the price can come down a little bit, make it more reasonable for agencies to buy them for consumers, school systems to buy them for consumers, and for the general public to purchase it for themselves. So these products typically come out in a high side, and then as they move along, the price seems to drop. So that's pretty much what I have here for me at this point. So I'm going to turn it over to Justine so she can give you a programs and services update.
Thank you, John. Excuse me. So we have had quite a bit going on with our programs and services since the last time we met, and October is certainly a very busy month for us. So I will just go through a few things that we have coming up and some things that have occurred. So our first reverse job fair was held, and our next is actually scheduled for tomorrow. So that's day 2. We had 20 job seekers attend day 1 and give their pitch to our employers. And we have 22 scheduled for day 2. So that is 2 full days. And we're really excited that we had that many. So we will have a full recap meeting in early November to report out on the successful hires, which I'll certainly share back. But at this time, I can share that from day 1, we had 1 successful hire already who is accepted, and I believe actually at this point even started employment with Home Depot. So that was a really great, and there were many other talks and discussions that have already been happening, but 1 certainly confirmed. And we also held the employer webinar prior to those job fairs, and that event went very well. Employee partners and employers shared their experiences, and the feedback was really positive from that. So we have White Cane Day coming up. That's also next week, next Friday. That's one of our major programs. The committee, which I'm a member of, we've been meeting weekly for several months to prepare for that. We have a really exciting lineup of speakers and award winners for the Meg Robinson Award, and we have a lot of recognitions that we'll be doing that day too. So I don't want to give away any secrets and things like that, but it's a very robust program that we have. We actually have 273 confirmed guests, and that report was run as of our meeting this morning. So 273, which is awesome. We're so excited. And those are the guests that are attending in person at the State House. The event will also be live streamed by the Talking Information Center. So we've been really encouraging those who are unable to attend in person to attend listening parties or arrange listening parties if they have a group of people to kind of get together and celebrate. We think that would be really cool. So I will add the link to the chat here with we have the live link up if anyone's interested in listening. I'll put that in the chat after this. And additionally, in October, we have a college information session that we've been working on for our high school seniors that are attending college or planning to attend college next fall. It's a really important event that will help them understand how MCB can be their partner in navigating the college journey. So we're looking forward to that. we have a great panel actually arranged for that session, which will feature 4 college students. One has recently graduated from his undergrad, and he's actually moving on to grad school, but the other 3 are currently in their undergraduate degree programs, and participants will have the opportunity to ask them questions. We gave them the opportunity to submit questions ahead of time for the panelists. We have a series of questions that we'll be asking them, and participants can ask additional questions. And we have a number of speakers for that event as well. And family members, I should add, are also encouraged to join. And we have had quite a few parents, guardians, caregivers already sign up for that. So we're really excited about that. And I think the other thing I'll add is our regions have been receiving and have been able to fulfill many requests for in-service events and to conduct trainings and to be vendors at events, such as some, pretty large health fairs that have occurred. So it's really, we're very excited always for those invitations and those inquiries. So it's been great. Just to give one example, I mean, Region 1 conducted well over 20, I believe it was almost 30 actually, but well over 20 in-services or trainings within the last 3 months. So we really want to we love that. We want to encourage those requests to continue to come in so we can continue to spread the word. And that's all I have,
Right.
unless there are any questions.
Thank you, Justine. And we continue to try to reach out to the public and participate in as many events as possible. And our regions are supporting that effort and doing a lot of trainings. We're also reaching out to many of the state agencies. We're doing some collaboration, some trainings with them that we can talk about as we go forward. And so that's one of the objectives here, is to continue to reach out and educate the public on working with our consumers, legally blind individuals of the Commonwealth, so that we can have other participating agencies who provide services to our consumers work with them successfully, and so that everyone has a good experience when they receive services from other agencies. So I'd like to turn it over to Nate Scrocky now, so he can give us an update on what's going on the stats and different areas he covers.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to share my screen for the latest spreadsheet that we have here. All right, so I was hoping to share the new data dashboard that we're going to be having out on our website, but the project is done. We have it built right now. We're just kind of working on the details of getting it hosted on the website and those type of things. So we just need to iron those things out to get it up and running. But it is done. I look forward to sharing it with you as soon as we're able to get it up on the website. So updated the old spreadsheet that we've been using all along here today. So currently at 1,377 total registrations for the year. Not a lot of changes in our current inventory with registrations as far as what's waiting to be done. I checked yesterday. We had 2 in quality control and 2 that have came in via fax, which I'm sure are already complete. Not a lot of variance in our SR cases as usual. We're currently sitting at 865 children's cases, 2,235 SR adult cases, and close to 1,100 DBES cases. So the biggest variance is we had a slight increase in each of those. And the biggest variance was we had 50 additional ones in the SR adults. So had a total of about 63 folks come in on the SR side of the fence. On open vocational rehabilitation cases, again, not much variance here. 761 total VR adult open cases and 222 pre-ETS cases. for small variances of 11 and 8 from last month. We're up to 103 closed cases for SR children for the year. This is calendar year to date, and 1,836 for SR cases closing year to date. And for the fiscal year, which is the cycle that we measure the VR cases on, we're currently at 67 successfully closed VR cases since July 1st of 2024, and 35 unsuccessful cases. So we have about 3,700 number of consumers who have been referred to various support services across the agency. We're approaching 7,000 certificates of blindness so far for the calendar year. We've done 902 IDs so far this year, and had referrals for disabled placards at 129 for the year, and for the equipment distribution program, mainly for phones, 389. So all the numbers continue to stay pretty steady and solid, and no big variances to be concerned about from our perspective. And that's that. And like I said, hopefully the data dashboard is, we'll be able to share that with everybody at our meeting next month.
Thank you, Nate. Does anybody from our board have any questions for the commission at this point?
This is Kathy. I had a question for Justine. The very wonderful, thorough report from everybody. Oh, the in-service events, Justine.
Yeah.
Who's the audience for those?
Honestly, it's ranging. For example, we've had quite a few at senior living facilities, and with some senior centers. But then I'm just trying to open one of the lists here from Region 1. I mean, they have done everything from in-services at UMass Amherst. I believe one was with a college dorm. Maybe a collection of RAs from a series of college dorms at UMass Amherst, to a few employers that also arranged them. So it's been quite a range. I'm happy to summarize it and send it out if people are interested. Springfield also had a large health fair that we were a vendor at. And I believe another region in the Worcester area is having a large health fair as well, which we're going to be a vendor at. That one is coming up.
Yeah.
So
There's been a couple in service.
It can be, Kathy, from a lot of the homemaker companies that provide services. They often get services from us, or if they provide health aids, they sometimes request training on how to work with someone who's blind. It's really a variety, as she's mentioned, and we try to honor many nursing homes. If they have a client in there or want to work better with clients who are legally blind, ask for us to go there, especially if they have a client that's one of our consumers that goes there. We work with the staff. So it can vary, as Justine said, and a lot of health fairs, a lot of our councils on aging, if they have health fairs or that sort of thing, they invite us to be speakers, or they invite us to, our staff also visits a lot of our support groups. So it does range substantially on how we're reaching out. And we are doing some training with some agencies, just starting to work with several agencies on how to, again, as I mentioned, work collaborate, closely with our shared consumers, so that everyone has a good experience.
That's great. Sounds a little time consuming, but it sounds like a great service at the same time.
It can be. That's why we try to stagger it, and the directors are coordinating it, and so they have different staff, different supervisors coordinate different trainings, and so we spread it around because we don't want to take. It's the same staff that are working with clients that are doing these presentations. We don't have dedicated outreach people, so we do try to make sure that it's spread around so that it doesn't impact outreach to consumers, because that's our main focus, obviously.
We've also started making sure that as people create PowerPoints or slides or additional resources for any of these, that we're putting them in a folder that's shared through our OneDrive system, my MCB, and so that others can utilize them instead of, always having to reinvent the wheel and kind of recreate something. So
Yeah.
that's in place now too.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Do you think it could evolve into a position at some point where maybe you have somebody who that's their primary role?
Like an outreach
I
coordinator,
think-
you mean?
I think one of the benefits to the way that we are doing it now is the person who is doing the training could also very well be the person who, for example, O&M is, the O&M instructor for that consumer who is now going to be, I'm looking at one here, taking riding lessons at the Whispering Horse Stables, for example. So that person who's now teaching everybody at Whispering Horse Stables about sighted guide and, more adaptations and things like that, they know that consumer personally and really well. So it's a little more personalized, I think, in some ways than if we had, one general person doing it for the state, but
Right.
Yeah,
perhaps.
one of the advantages from the in-persons, from the in-services, they're regionalized in a lot of cases, and it helps build those relationships in the different regions with either our partners or sister agencies or whatever it might be in that region. And that's from I used to be a regional director at one point, and that was very beneficial for us to do that and to foster those relationships. So I think there is a big benefit to keeping it regionalized.
That makes sense.
Great. Any
Yeah.
other questions from the board?
I have a
have
quick
one other.
question.
Oh,
Oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Curlin. Curlin or Curleen?
Curleen,
Curleen. You go right ahead.
thank you. It's just a quick question, follow-up to the in-services. Is it all mostly focused on how to work with people who are blind or visually impaired? Or do the topics vary?
The topics absolutely vary.
Okay.
And some is just getting, information out there about MCB services. That's a lot of what we have at the health fairs, for example, where it's, our service program brochures and somebody there to answer questions as they come up. Just really bringing about awareness is a lot of what some of them are.
Kathy, you had another question?
Yes. The college, am I on? Yeah, all right. The college information session, is that something new or is that something that's always like has been like an annual thing or something you've always?
That's been going on for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
I think it
Um,
started back. It started back maybe in the early 2000s, but maybe even before then. It used to be headed up by the VR supervisor in a particular region, and then they would combine regions. So it's good at least 25 years or more. We've been doing that college information day for seniors.
Nancy, go ahead. You had a question.
Yeah, if you're looking at scheduling trainings or any kind of in-service, do you contact the area director to do that?
The,
A lot of
the regional
Sorry, go ahead,
directors,
The regional
the regional
director? Yeah.
directors, because it's within their region, we always refer, if they contact us, we always refer back to the region that the facility is in or the service is going to be delivered in, because they're the ones who know the area well, and they have the staffing, so they need to allocate the time and make sure that their staff can handle it. So we let them take that from beginning to end, other than referring it back to the region from Boston. So the regions are really responsible for managing that. Although we can make referrals if we receive the call here in administration or commissioner's office, we move it back to them and they take care of it.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else before we go to the public? Well, thank you very much for that and for your good questions. So we will open it up if there's anybody from the general public that have questions. If you could raise your hand, and if you have difficulty with manipulating Zoom for that, you can just speak up too, and I'll navigate this with you. Okay, Nona?
Yes, good afternoon. Recently I saw a Boston Globe article about MCB again, and I was just wondering if there was some comment regarding, MCB and their reaction to the issue with the registry of motor vehicles.
Okay, I will comment on that. Yes, you did see the article. As you know, MCB had some significant issues going on when I was appointed acting and then appointed commissioner. I've had to deal with a lot of fiscal issues. We've had to deal with a lot of issues that were going on in various departments or programs. And that department had some issues. Because it's related to personnel, I can't really discuss them, but changes have been made. Procedures have been changed so that some of the issues that were mentioned in that article have been eliminated and are much more able to be managed or monitored by staff within the unit. We have multiple people who can produce or generate that report now to the registry. We use a secure system, obviously, and that's restricted. So only those individuals who are trained and have been have access to that system are able to use it. But things are going much better. We're in a process of working out a written agreement with the registry, laying out everyone's responsibilities. There is no written agreement at this time. It's sort of understood. I think there might have been a real skeleton type thing that was put together years ago, but this will be much more detailed and outline our responsibilities and their responsibilities and timing and frequency and those sort of things. So again, I continue to work through the different issues here at the agency. And as time goes on, we will get these all resolved and under control. That's pretty much what I can talk about in that area. But it definitely is been remedied. We're putting better monitoring and better controls in place so that we know if something is not being done in a timely manner. And the agreement that we're working on between the agencies is gonna lay out and assure us that we can monitor what's going on, and there's specific timelines, and so that'll make things flow much more smoothly instead of leaving it more general and open and restricted as it was before. So
Thanks, Sean. I would have to say, when I read the article, my thought was that the registry really seemed to be passing the buck on to MCB, and I definitely think it's not just MCB. I mean, they have responsibilities here as well. So thank you for that clarity, though.
Kathy, you had your hand up for a second.
Yeah, I'll be candid. I'm wondering if we could make a friend or two at Boston Globe and get some good publicity out there, because it's been so negative over the last year or so. And there's just so many good things that MCB is doing, helping our communities. And maybe there's something, Mike, I don't know if he's here today, or just the organization could try to build a better relationship with the journalists and reporters there and try to get something positive out there, or maybe even EOHHS PR department could assist with that, just to kind of counter the negativity, because I had forgotten about that for a moment, Nona, but I remember seeing it and thinking, oh,
Here we go again.
we don't deserve this. We deserve better than that. So that's my thought there. What can we do proactively? Like this college information day is awesome, and all these in-services that we're doing, and all these placements that are happening, and services in homes. I mean, that's the information we want to get out there, or else people are going to shy away from contacting us, they're gonna be like, oh, that's that agency that has all those problems. You know, we don't want that to be the
So
You're hired, Kathy.
we
You're in
have
charge of
a
it.
positive story coming out very soon.
Good.
And the interviews have happened, and
Oh, good.
so there are there's been there's how can I say this? Certain reporters cover a certain beat for the Globe, and obviously there are issues with a lot of state agencies, and those reporters' responsibility is to find those issues and bring them out. So there's really nothing that we can do. We are as clear as we can be. All of our agencies across the state have some operational issues, some procedures issues, some things that can be done better. Sometimes pointing that out helps us, and other times it doesn't help us. So, yeah, we do the best we can at getting the stories out. We float the stories sometimes, and the media just is not interested sometimes in the good stories. They're more attracted to what can we do to get more attention on certain issues, and that's fine. We can deal with anything that comes up and try to be as responsive as possible and try to provide the information they need. But this issue that came out was something that I was well aware of. The manager was well aware of. We were working on it. We were resolving it, and then somehow the media got a hold of it. And it started with the registry, and then it connected back to us, which is fine. Registry and us are partners. We've been in partnership for a long time. We just need to get that squared away so that we have things written down and responsibilities laid out so that it's worked pretty well over the years. And so without crossing into personnel matters, I would like to just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Could I just ask a question? Because I did see that come across my computer a couple weeks, whenever it was, I forget now. Time goes really fast. Sometimes it just seems like a blip. But was it like in the prior ones, was this the same reporter that had reported in the past of some other issues, even like a year?
It's the same reporter that's done all of these stories on the agency. So that's his beat, though. There's nothing wrong with the reporter. He's a nice gentleman.
No, I don't mean it like that. I was just curious.
That's his beat, to be up on the Hill and working stories regarding state agencies. So that's like his assignment for the Globe. So he's looking around, but it is the same reporter that's done all the stories on the agency for this particular newspaper. Correct.
Okay. Well, I was thinking, like Kathy was saying, like maybe we send them a proactive presser as well that could be helpful, and maybe he'll pick it up if it's still news in his beat, right?
There might be some good press on the White Cane Day, and there might be there'll be good press on another program that they're writing a story on. It may not be the same media outlet, but it'll be there's other outlets out here that are also working with us on stories.
No, I understand. Yeah. All
So
right.
I just want to acknowledge the chat from Greg Donnelly at the Carroll Center for the Blind. So, even if it's a collective effort, a collaborative effort, maybe between the Carroll Center, Perkins School, Polis Center, your partners, MCB, I would love to read a favorable article. I'm going to keep my eye out for what's coming out, John. I get a little frustrated and down when I see the negative ones. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your comment, Greg. I didn't see that yet. Thank you. Anybody else from the public have questions or comments for the commission?
Thank you, Justine. I am looking forward to White Cane Awareness Day and you know, happy to be reminded that it's being live streamed. I had kind of forgotten about that piece, so that's really good to know because, well, first of all, you have a full house, 273
We
in the
have a
Great
full,
Hall
we
of
might
Flags.
even have a standing room only full house.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, last
Um,
year's was a great event and had a good attendance, and I think that's just the momentum's building coming back to live events. So I'm really happy to see that, and
Yeah.
that's exciting.
We'll
Very
see
good.
you-
Last chance for anybody else. Any general questions or comments? We're getting out early at this point if that happens. I don't see any hands. Well, one other item is that our board is not, in fairness, not ready to vote on the last meeting agenda. So I don't know the rules about if we could do that even by email, probably not. So maybe we'll just vote on both at the next meeting, next board meeting. If everyone's amenable to that, I think that makes sense.
Yep, that makes sense.
Okay. Well, other than that, thank you everyone for attending. Thank you, the commission and John and everyone there and Justine. Good work. And Nate, and we'll catch you all soon and see you hopefully at White Cane Day.
You take care. See
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
When is the next meeting, by the way, the date?
It's the first Tuesday of every month unless we otherwise change it at 12 noon.
Okay,
I
We'll
think
be
it's
s-
November 5th. That's the date.
that's voting day, but,
Uh,
okay,
It
just to
is,
put it out there.
yeah, it is November 5th at noon.
Yeah,
So, yeah, voting day, that's,
It
we
is
don't want to
voting day.
keep anybody from voting, so.
We'll keep you posted if there was a change,
Okay.
but assume that's the date as of right now anyway.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
everyone.
All right.
Thank you, Curleen.
Thank you for your leadership, Brian.